we got another Furtado in here, by the way.
It. I started my career of working at Stop and Shops.
Oh, what a great start.
Yeah, so it was kind of like, here you go, buddy, good luck.
Yeah. You started during COVID?
When I first started, 2 out of every 10 projects I would do, give or take, would be somebody asking like, hey, do you do remote? Now it's 8 out of 10 ask me to go remote.
Probably after talking so much, I'm like surprised you did not take one sip of water.
No, man.
All coffee. This man's caffeinated as fuck.
That's it. We got a few hours of work to do tonight.
Backtrack. I'm Tiago, this is Alex, this is True Legit Podcast, and we got another Furtado in here, by the way. We got 3 Furtados
Furtado
in here.
cubed, baby.
You guys are not brothers, right?
No, we're not.
Oh, that's wild.
Isn't that wild?
Well,
a lot
we
of
might be cousins, family.
Yeah, something
liaisons.
like something wild.
I think so.
Our vavoos at some point. Where,
yeah. We're relatives.
Like,
for sure. If I started talking to you about my grandparents, you guys would be like, oh, that's my cousin.
Yeah.
Back in Portugal. But,
Kyle
man,
Furtado
awesome.
from Troy City Graphics is here.
That's it.
Kyle, thanks for coming, man.
No, thanks for having me. I've been excited about this. It's been like 2 months coming. Our schedules all look crazy, man. And like I was just saying, I try so hard sometimes to like shut it down at 4 or 5 and, figure stuff out, plan things accordingly and, get the schedule right. But man, one day you can, you wake up at, 7, 8 in the morning, you have 2 text messages, your whole day changes already. And next thing you know, like I was saying, it's 8 o'clock at night and you're like, holy shit, here's another day that passed and we still haven't planned the day to come and do this, So but it's nice to finally, be on here and be with you guys.
It's a dream come true right now, you know what I mean?
Living the dream. Like
so were you always into like graphics or did you start construction?
No, it's a little crazy, right? So I started my career of working at Stop and Shop. So I had a bunch of relatives that worked at Stop and Shop. Almost like all my uncles, my brother, they were all like produce managers. Mm-hmm. So I got involved with, I got kind of like the hookup, right? They got me in there. Was there for like 9 years. Slowly, grew into almost, I would say, like a management type role in the produce department. We were all produce guys and stuff like that. So I was kind of one of those like go-tos. I enjoyed that side. I knew kind of the in and outs about it. So I really liked it. And then went to school, got a bachelor's degree in business operations management. And then I was like, yeah, Stop and Shop's not gonna cut it. $8 an hour.
That's not it, man.
I don't know what to do. $8 an hour back in the day wasn't as bad as it sounds now. But
we interrupt this program to bring you a special report.
We finally got a sponsorship, and it's our boys over at Furtado Construction. These guys are hands down the best in the business when it comes to creating something amazing and beautiful. They actually did my house, and it went from being a piece of shit to a gorgeous thing on the block. You know what I mean? They do it all. Roofing, siding, doors, windows, bathroom remodels, kitchen remodels. Hey, if your wife wants a she shed, guess what? You call these guys, okay? So call them right now. We're going to put their link on here, and we're going to put the link in the description below. But listen, I'm going to tell you right now, if it ain't 30, it ain't 30. Now, enjoy the episode, guys.
So I was like, shit, it's time to, figure out what's next. So for a while there, I was just kind of throwing applications out, and I found my first sign company that I worked for, obviously, like I said, after I left Stop and Shop. And I was like, signs, huh? What the hell is signs? Like, when you're not in the industry, you don't even really like think about shit that's out there. Nowadays, I go into grocery stores, I'm like, wow, what a shitty produce department. Me and my boys, we could have did this right, But yeah, it's one of those things where I'm looking at, the websites, trying to figure out like, what is this world? So, like I said, 9 years ago, I started there. And I was kind of, like I said, I had no clue about the industry whatsoever. Yep. So I started there, and then slowly actually, started like learning the industry while being hired. I got hired as a production scheduler there. So obviously everything that goes through production was coming to me. I was plugging it in on an Excel spreadsheet, making it, obviously essentially just happen between, 7 cross-mental departments.
Gotcha.
About probably like 4 months later, the supervisor that was there at the time, he ended up getting, I don't know if he got let go or whatever happened, but he ended up going to take a sales position somewhere else as an actual signed vendor. And they kind of promoted me on the spot. So here I am 4 months in. I'm like, I barely know what the hell is involved with signs. I know nothing to do with construction. I'm like, yeah, exactly. So, probably I would say about like 60 to 70% of it, you kind of catch up quick, right? When it comes down to like the decal side of it, it was pretty simplistic because you don't have to think about, steel poles, engineering, dig safe, all this construction side of things, welding, steel, aluminum, this, that, so we had at the time 6 departments, and one of them's paint, right? Just like an automotive shop, no biggie, no problem at all. CNC department, and then another department that builds, like channel letter cans and stuff like that goes on like buildings, outside buildings, and then electrical, right, for all the signs that are lit up. So that whole like 9-year period was me slowly like learning every day. And in the sign world, it's never the same. Every day you get something new where you're like, what the hell kind of frame is this, or cabinet is this, or whatever it is. So it was definitely it was a challenging job for me, being used to like, shit, I know everything about produce, and here I am now trying to learn stuff on the fly and managing people and hiring and firing and taking care of the schedule as well. So it was like a crazy, he has 100 things to do, figure it out, also learn, even though you don't have time for training, but do what you can. Right. So that was kind of like the start of the sign world. And
oh, what a great start.
Yeah. So it was kind of like, here you go, buddy, good luck. We'll take it from here. So again, it was a great career for me. I loved it there. And that's where kind of Troy City Graphics started. And this is kind of like a long story, but built a house.
We're here for the long story.
It's a podcast, baby. Let's let it
rip. Right? So about 3 years ago, built a house right around COVID time. Everything goes skyrocket. I'm like, oh, God, dude. Even a good salary and asking for increases can be, so realistic. I'm not going to ask for a $70,000 increase. Yeah, it would have been great. I would have probably not started Troy City Graphics, but here we are. So... yeah, so about 3 years prior to me leaving, it might be about 2.5 years now that I've started the business. Very slow but surely picking up.
So you started during COVID?
Shortly after COVID.
Yeah.
So I built a house, got hit with numbers, and I'm like, oh my God, I need some side money here.
Damn.
That's when the wheel started turning, man. I'm always kind of thinking, I always wanted to like, even in my, previous company, I always wanted kind of the next step, right? I liked, even though I was already like a production manager at the time, it's almost like I wanted to be, involved with leadership, involved with numbers. Where's the company going? Where are we growing? Can we buy out companies? Like I always kind of enjoyed that side of it, right? I went to school for business. I liked it.
Yeah.
So it almost got to the point where I felt like I wasn't going to get there, right? It was like, you need to stay in production, you need to run the schedule, and we have our leadership team, and that's it, you capped out. So that's where I started to realize, like, all right, shit, I'm doing whatever I can here, but this might be the cap out, even though I'm making good money.
You have all this ambition, but they're trying to keep you in this box.
Exactly it, man, exactly it. So I'm like, shit, I want more than this. And for, years, I kind of knew that, and I knew if I wasn't going to get there, I would definitely be looking elsewhere to try to get into some sort of more of a leadership role somewhere. So like I said, after building a home, man, we went over budget, almost like $100,000. So man, it was like we got quota when 2x4s were like $3, and it ended up being like 9 and change, I think, when we built the house. So it was like everything was 3x.
3x, yeah. Damn.
So like I was saying, that's when my head started, spinning. All right, I need some side money. Good salary's not enough to be able to pay my contractor back, right? Like, how am I going to afford to pay this guy in this crazy world we're living in now?
Yeah, right.
I was thinking, like, I'm going to need you to put me on a 30-year plan, brother. So it was stressful, but. So then I started getting to the point where, actually my brother's company, he works for Door and Glass Innovations.
Okay.
Again, out of Fall River. He's not the owner, but still he's like, one of the high ups there or whatever it is. They asked me if I knew anybody that could letter up a big Penske truck. And I'm like, yeah, I can find, let me see if my company can do it. And then I'm like, you know what? Let me see if I can find help to do it. And again, figures, I do the biggest truck I've ever done. It was like a 30-foot Penske truck. I pulled a few friends in the sign industry. We rocked it out. That was kind of step one to like, all right, we can do this.
Yeah.
So, it's one of those things where it's like year one, I'm doing, work for some buddies, some like little stickers, stuff like that, and kind of keeping it like very low key. I didn't even really want to stock inventory, just kind of keeping some basic colors or order for, specific jobs, right? If you call me and you're like, hey, I'm a plumber, I need red, white, and blue on my van, I'm going to order red, white, and blue, a minimum amount just to get by, right? Because I'm not making crazy money. I'm just doing this on the side. So why spend crazy money on inventory? So that's when slowly started to like almost like word of mouth from my friends continued going to other friends.
Yeah.
So like year one when I started, I think I started in like I opened up the business legitimate in like say for example June, July. I did probably like 7 jobs. And I'm like, cool, not bad, but hey, here's whatever, a few $1,000s to give to my contract. Here's some to save, whatever it is.
And this is something you were doing on the side in addition
Correct,
to work that you're doing?
correct.
Yeah.
So that's when like again, the start of a business, a lot of guys know you almost got to do what you got to do, right?
Yeah.
So I'm working crazy hours, right? I'm working full time there, close, some weeks 50 hours a week or more, and then at night I'm going home to prep vinyl and get everything ready, and then on the weekends I'm installing. So that's when the 7 days a week kind of started. My girl didn't love it, but she loves me, so we'll keep it like that. So yeah, like I said, it kind of like bloomed real quick. Where like that whole first year, even though it was just like 6 months of starting up in my basement, rocking it out, starting to have people come to me, but also started that mindset of like, all right, I can also travel to do this. That's been a huge benefit for me. But then year 2, right, cut into the chase of that, year 2, I kind of like 4X the projects I did, right? I'm like, all right, cool. Now my name is definitely getting out there.
Right.
I'm kind of like hiding it from my business. And now I'm stressed the hell out every day because I'm like, they could find out. Even though they don't really letter vehicles, it's like a very rare thing. They might have like 1 or 2 customers that do it. I'm the type of person where I just like, I don't like to work, day in, day out, and next thing you know, they find out, and I'm like, holy shit, what are they gonna get?
You have to
am I
hide
getting in trouble?
it.
Yeah,
and all
like
that
it
sort
was
of
sketchy.
stuff. Yeah.
So I wasn't really like happy with the way I was running shit because I felt like every day I'm like, oh my god, does somebody know? Like somebody looks at me weird, I'm like, holy shit, this might be it, man. I don't have
Paranoia
nothing.
was hitting, huh?
The paranoia was definitely
Man,
kicking.
and it was still so early on, and excuse me, I couldn't get to the point where I was producing enough work if that was it for me.
Right.
So again, slow increase. Like I said, I might have did like 30 jobs that year. So the whole year again, I started working a little bit more, but did about 30 jobs. And then fast forward to now, I left there in April, which would have been my 9-year mark. So it's been probably like April to now, 8 to 10 months of me being fully on my own. And it's been like crazy, man. It's like I said, I think I started just like, 10 jobs year 1 or half the year, and then 40 jobs. This year I hit 380.
Damn, bro. Let's
So you're
go.
like,
Hey.
yeah, thank you.
That's awesome, man. We
Appreciate
love
you
that,
guys.
bro.
Thank you.
Fuck yeah.
So it's one of those
What
things
is that
where
like? That's not even 10. That's not even 10x. That's like,
it might be a little bit more than that.
I think that's a lot more, man.
Dog.
Yeah, so
Damn.
it's one of those things where you never really think it can get to where it is unless you go balls to the wall. And that's like a big thing for a lot of people in our world, our age group and shit like that is you always have the fear of really the unknown.
Yeah.
But man, like you take that leap, man, and you make it work. If you can make it work, you'll make it work, and shit turns quick, man. Like I said, I would have never thought. I would have thought, I was gonna do this on the side here and there to make some extra money until I find something new. And what ended up happening was now I have more time instead of working full time. I have more time to devote into the business, learning more stuff. I started with just lettering. Now I'm doing like 9 different things, and I'm trying to get to the point where it gets a little more and more, more efficient, offer more, have a team. There's so many avenues that
You
this
also
can
have
still
that.
go.
You also have that freedom too of like not
100%.
being. You're your own boss.
Correct.
You don't have to have like somebody.
It's a good thing, man.
It's a beautiful thing, isn't it?
It is, man. It is.
Like you don't have to like wake up every day early and like report to somebody. Like
Yeah.
it's just you report to you, and then like obviously you have
it's
your
the
team,
best.
they report to you. But
Sure.
Oh, man.
Yeah, the micromanaging thing was never a fun thing for me. And again, everywhere I worked was pretty good with it, but like sometimes, having somebody over your shoulder for, a little bit of this, a little bit of that, it's kind of like, just trust me, let me do my job. You know what I mean? And that's one of the biggest things where I'm like, wow, I have like no stress in the world. And it's one of those things like, if I don't want to do it, I don't need to do it. Right. If I don't like to do it, like, then I don't need to do it, right? I used to have to be like, shit, it's Tuesday. I have to have a production meeting about stuff that, half these guys don't even really care about or need to know or whatever.
could have been an email.
Yeah, sometimes, right?
Yeah.
Even though we had a billion of those too. But either way, it's just like certain things where, those were the days I used to wake up and like, shit, here we go again, another Tuesday. And now it's crazy. And I never thought I would ever live this way, man. But I wake up sometimes early or I'm going to bed early or late and I'm already like dying to get to the job for tomorrow. It's wild. Like I would have never thought that would have been a thing, and I always looked at it as in like work sucks, you know, who the hell wants to work all day, all night? But to me, it's almost like it became almost a hobby, right? Like something you love to do where even though I'm working crazy hours, it doesn't even feel like it's crazy hours. I just feel like I'm doing my thing, checked off job today. Tomorrow we start another one, check that off, go on to the next, you know? So even though it's kind of like me just continuously rocking out work, and don't get me wrong, it's definitely a lot, right? There's not too many people that want to work 12 to 16-hour days, right? Definitely not. Right now, I've been rocking that for, 7 days a week easily, probably on average, at least 12 hours a day in most cases. But again, being your own boss, like you said, I love to be able to wake up anywhere between whatever, if it's, 5:30 or 7:30 or 8 if I'm exhausted or sick or whatever, and have my coffee on the couch with my dog. And I'm like, this is the shit. It's not what I want to start,
Yeah.
And then you can, make it whatever you want it to be, right? If you want to take 2 hours in the summer and jump in your pool, go ahead.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Right.
That's how I, had the last tail end of the year is, you get to take those hour breaks. You finish up a job at 11. Now you can do whatever you want. Then you can, if you want, enjoy the weather and then, go back to it at night when the sun's down. You can do, especially in my world, right? In my realm, you can do that no problem, right? You can design at night. You don't need the sunlight. You don't need the heat. You don't need the cold to a certain extent, right?
Yeah.
But it's definitely, that's a side of ownership of, being your own boss is great in my world, right? I don't know how it is for like everybody else. I'm sure there's always craziness.
I feel like it could be all mesh in the same area, you know what I mean? Being your own boss. I think the whole like being your own boss, not being told what you can and can't do.
Sure.
And then on top of that, like the stress and everything like that.
Yep.
And then like, you go to a job, you see your boss or, your manager or whatever get this amount of dollars, but you've been putting so much work.
Yeah, man.
It's a good feeling when you're the owner of your own company,
Sure.
you're putting in all that work and then, you're getting what you rightfully deserve.
Yeah, exactly.
So
Yeah, no, I totally agree with you on that, man. And again, it's your name, right?
Yeah.
It's you can work so hard for somebody if you have that work ethic and pride, and everybody kind of says that quote where you're just a number, right?
Oh yeah.
To me, it's like fuck that, man. I bust my ass, man. I'm not just a number. No matter if I stop a job, literally, right? The terminology is you're just a number. They have millions and millions of employees.
Yeah.
The boss's boss of boss doesn't give a shit who you are,
Right,
as long as you're producing and it looks good for the the store that it looks good.
Yeah.
But it's great for a starting job when you need to make some money and get experience in the work world. And then you get to the point where when, you're a little bit older and you really, really take pride in what you do and you're good at what you do and, whatever it is, you make it 20, 30, 40 an hour, 50 an hour, 70, it doesn't matter. But when you're doing it for somebody else, and sometimes, even if you're making good money and there's no appreciation to that, there's a lot of people that are like, this fucking sucks, man.
Yeah.
And then the money ain't everything. So I know a lot of people that, making prevailing wage their whole life and then they end up going somewhere else and they make $40 an hour for, a small family owned business. They're happy as can be because, it's like they feel appreciated. They know like what they do, earns the company money, which then in return, earns bonuses and 401ks and profits to them.
Yep.
There's a lot to it, man. It's a vicious circle of pros and cons, and in every industry, and ownership and not. But it's definitely a wild ride, man. It's been crazy though. It's been a good thing, man. And like I said, I could talk for hours about it. And my girl will tell you, she's like, that's all you talk about. I'm like, I love this shit.
So your realm is actually kind of like, I feel like personally for me it's underrated because it goes unseen.
Yeah.
Not a lot of people really think about it.
Yeah, for
you know what I
sure.
mean? Because like I work as a plumber.
Yeah.
I work as a commercial plumber.
Yep.
And like everyone notices like the nice faucets, the
Sure.
toilet. They don't
100%.
see the walls or like what I had to do in the ceilings or anything like that.
sure.
They just want it to look good. You're in that department where you can make things look really good.
For
And I
sure.
feel like it's very underrated and like nobody really thinks about it.
Yeah.
And I was honestly putting it together. I'm like, dude, Kyle Furtado, Detroit City Graphics. I'm scrolling through your Instagram. I'm like, dude, this motherfucker. This motherfucker makes things
That's
look
high praise from
nice.
Tiago.
Dude, this motherfucker is nice, dude. Like, you just made, like, our boy Matt Benavides,
Yeah,
a.k.a.
man,
the Boston
yeah.
Plum Monster.
Hell yeah.
You did his van.
The GOAT,
not
man.
did you do the back?
I didn't know. That
but
was
you did
his,
the signage, right?
Yeah, I wish I had talent like I think it was his barber that did that, man. That came out awesome, but I didn't do that. I did the professional side. I I tell him, I was like, dude, you're fun in the back, man, and in the side, you're nice and classy.
Yeah.
I told him respect.
He should probably rock a mullet, you know what I
Yeah,
mean?
it's like a mullet.
Yeah, right.
But you did that, and then you did another one, DMC Electric.
DMC Electric,
Doug, shout out to Doug.
Yeah, shout out Doug.
He actually sat where you are sitting right now.
Yeah, I think
You know
so.
what
I think I saw a little bit of those.
did in
videos,
mom's
man.
basement. But
Hell yeah.
everybody that you've worked with, I've had connections with. So
Absolutely,
it's honestly great to like finally sit down with the man.
Right?
Because I
The
think
man that did it all.
I think a few of our guests were like, you need to get like Kyle Furtado
Yeah,
on. You need to get
No
Twisted
shit,
on.
huh?
Yeah.
That's cool, man. Yeah.
So you owe them like you owe them pizza and a beer.
Yeah, dude, 100%, man. Just to everybody, man. It's a good thing, bro. The like I said, the world of like you were saying too, like the world of signs. A lot of people really don't, and it's not even just signs, right? Like I said, I do vehicle lettering. We do actually now we're starting to do more and more architectural and it's like commercial tinting, residential tinting and stuff like that. So we're doing a lot of that. We do the apparel side of it. So in this world, right? In graphics and signs, there's so many different things you can offer. So sky's the limit on who you meet, right?
Yeah.
And it's one of those things where I take a lot of pride in that, where for me, I like to try to, give a little bit of a benefit to all my customers too. And, if you're on Facebook and you're asking for a plumber, I'm going to tag all my plumbers.
Yeah.
Your growth is my growth. I tell that to all my customers. You know what I mean? So instead of you going to, and I don't need to, name drop any companies out there because, there's other companies that are great and tons of companies that do what we do.
Yeah.
But you could go to, like, say, for example, a corporate company. You're in, you're out. See you later. They don't know who you are.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? That's it. They don't even care. You don't even meet the owners half the time. You're going to meet the people that are, probably going to design something, maybe via email, text, whatever it is.
Yeah.
That's it. I like to, if I can, show face, meet the person, discuss what they want to do, survey, everything, which is kind of like standard, but get more on a personal level versus, all right, let's do your job, bang this out, and then good luck, see you later. Don't,
Do you
I
think
won't talk
that's
to you.
like a turning point in
I
some
think
jobs?
it is huge, man. Yeah.
When you like show up and everything like that?
Yeah,
Like,
I think, and again, I would say yes and no, right? I think if you have a good personality and like that communication skill set where one, you can, sell a job, right?
Yep.
You're like that sales mentality, then it's very good.
Yep.
Right. I've met people before where people come and survey something and I'm like, wow, I'm never going to call that guy again. You know what I mean? Or whatever, So
Yeah.
it's definitely, I'm a very talkative person. I could talk to you guys for 6 hours straight. You know what I mean? Like, about
I know,
anything,
like,
right?
you haven't even taken a sip of coffee.
No, it's gonna come. It's gonna come. I know. I'm always caffeine down, but no. So, like I said, for me, it's a good thing to face to face communication with people.
Absolutely.
And like I said, it brings you more on a personal level versus you're doing a service for me. That's it. See you later. And I become very close to some of my clients where we're like. We talk to each other like we're best buds,
Yeah.
And I take a lot of respect in that because it's a different level of service in the service industry, right? That's how a lot of it seems to be. It's like you're there to get the job done. See you later. I like to be like even with my apparel, right, and other stuff. Say for example, I do your trucks. I discount your apparel if you get apparel through us to be the one-stop shop, right? It's just a benefit. It helps you. I get more work, keep people busy. So it's like I said, I try to do what I can to kind of like, like I said, help everybody out that, we work with. Obviously, I'm sure it'll get to the point where it might be too much where I'm not going to tag 47 plumbers on every post. Sometimes I'm tagging like 12 electricians. I'm like, this is a little stupid. But I hope one of them, tries to message the person, gets the job. What I mean? Like I said, man, every customer of mine, their growth is my growth, right? So it's a big thing to get on that personal level with people, and I think that's where a lot of companies may lack, right? I'm not really sure how other companies run their businesses, especially in my industry, but like I said, that's one thing that I hear from a lot of people is, holy shit, dude, you're like my boy, and I don't even know you. You know what I mean? And I'm like,
It's about the networking
it
and
is,
connections.
dude. And like I tell everybody, right? Like I said, if I do work for you, I try to push you getting work, right?
Yep.
Right now I have contractors working in, my production shop. They're my customers.
Yep.
The guy that did my, some tree work for me and some landscape work for me, he's a customer of mine. Guy that did my driveway, customer of mine. I got a guy that did my fence, customer of mine. So it's a huge thing for me to, obviously, right? I have the, I meet all these guys so I can easily ask them, right? We hook each other up, we take care of each other.
Yeah.
But for me to be able to give more work to my customers is like such a great feeling, right?
Yeah,
You
yeah.
want to keep your guys busy too, man. They
100%.
trusted you to take care of the job, and now I'm trusting them to take care of the job.
Right.
Whatever they need, I'm all set, and vice versa, right?
Yeah.
So it's like I said, that level of the way I run the business is probably what I take the most pride in, is like, helping the local community out with,
Yep.
if somebody calls me, like, again, all my customers, right? If you need a DOT or you need a new license number, I just give it to them, man. I don't need to be like, yep, $20.20. Like,
Yeah.
like, I'm not here to be a millionaire. It'd be great, right? I'd love to hit the lottery.
Yeah.
It's, to me, it's more of like the respect out of, getting the respect out of your customers, having these people like really trusting you and getting the job done, getting the job right. And that's what I'm trying to build out of it. You know what I mean, man? And it's, like I said, it's the best part about it, but it can also be tough because it kind of stops me from hiring people because I want to run it the way I want to run it. I don't want to be like, how was this, this guy to you? And, how was his work ethic? How was the work? And that's kind of my biggest downfall right now is I'm working all day and night, but I could also use a body of 2 full time.
Yeah.
I don't know yet. We'll see.
But how do you hand that off? I guess it comes down to training, right?
It is. A lot of it, there's obviously, like I said, people that do know what they're doing. There's people that are very skilled, very good out there. A lot of the time it's tough because it's almost like you need to have experience in the sign industry to be able to kind of, not necessarily get thrown in the fire, but here you go, here's a truck, start lettering this. You have to spend time with them. You have to train them no matter what, to a certain extent, but also, teach them the way you want it to be run, right?
Right.
Like no matter who, if I was to bring somebody on in 2 months, that would be one of the main things I push is their attitude towards people. Keep things clean when you're at their location or vice versa. And I just, like I said, I care more about, high quality and, good attitude towards the customers. Like I want every customer to feel that way. So, that's got to be a huge thing that I would always push on. And then on top of like the quality and the work ethic and all that kind of shit. But, all that stuff comes with a little bit of training, a little bit of time spent with somebody. But again, I like to, always be the face of, I want to show face, I want to be there, so that's what's making me continuously work more and more and more is because I want to do it all to a certain extent, but
And I feel like that's kind of what leads to success at some point, because like even the other guys we've had on DMC and Map and Avides, it's like they all have that drive and they're all like very personable. Like you know what I mean? I feel like
their personality.
they're great, man.
I feel like to be an entrepreneur, you have to have the skill, right? Like you have to be a good plumber, you have to be a good electrician, you have to be a good letterer. But there's something in that sauce of being able to communicate with people,
Big time,
where it's like I think that's what takes it to the next level, beyond just being like the trade, like the skilled tradesperson.
Oh,
that's
100%.
like that. And do you think that's something people can learn, or is that just something like that's natural to people?
Being in kind of like that like management world, right? A little bit too for years. A lot of it is, I think, right, people's personality as a whole, right? It's very hard to change somebody if, you go to work every day and this guy's a miserable bastard, right? He doesn't want to be, can't stand everybody, doesn't even want to say good morning. I couldn't even imagine that guy turning into, hey, how are you today? But I'm sure to a certain extent, especially nowadays, man, with the internet, there's a lot to learn out there, man. I'm sure, like, if somebody really wanted to be that guy, I'm sure they could, and, whether it's, courses online, whether it's, just seeing how others run businesses. Like I learned a lot of my stuff from, seeing people hands-on, working with successful people, talking to successful people. I watch a lot of YouTube videos and, podcasts. I like to continuously learn and see how they communicate. And don't get me wrong, I'm not going to become, 100x more professional, but I, at least in the back of my mind, know like that's how I want to work. That's how I want to be. That's how I want to introduce myself. So I think to a certain extent you can, but a lot of the times, man, if people are stuck in their own way, they're stuck in their own way. I can't really see them changing into a very personable, owner. And that's what you hear in, every industry when you're a business owner. No matter what, whether you want to hear, whether you want to, some people, talk shit, some people don't talk shit. There's always people trying to cut throat, out there. But you hear a lot of the negatives of everybody else in the industry, right? And in my world, too, is a lot of people, for me being somewhat new in the industry, right? 2.5, 3 years is new, where a lot of my customers have used somebody else. And why are they no longer going to them, right? I've heard everything in the world. So there's something there that is making them say like, holy shit, you're freaking great. I'd much rather work with you. This has been the easiest experience. You're so personable, whatever it is, where it's like, How come these other guys couldn't get to that?
Yeah.
If they know that that's where they're failing, or, you know, whatever, everybody, you know, can get negative reviews, positive reviews, but there's always ways to continuously, like, try to keep your employees to a certain extent.
Right.
Unless, like, you know, customers want something totally different that you can't offer, right? If somebody wanted painted pinstriping, I can't do that.
Right.
I drink too much coffee to be able to. I can't.
A lot of squiggles.
Yeah, you wouldn't want that from me. But like I said, it's one of those things, man, where it's a tough thing, man, because if you don't necessarily have that type of confidence in communicating with people and being a personable person, I don't think you're going to nail as many jobs as you can, you know, as somebody that's very personable, respectful, and, you know, kind of welcoming to bring in more work.
Right.
You know what I'm
So,
saying?
so you've always been like this, so even since like childhood. Have you always been like a social sort of guy?
Yeah, to a certain extent, man. You know, as a kid in a Portuguese household, I was always kind of shy, right?
Yeah.
My parents came over from St. Michael, man.
You don't strike me as a shy person at all. That's
Everybody
very
says
interesting to hear
and
that.
Maybe
yeah.
it comes with age, man.
Yeah,
but
yeah.
when I was younger, I was always like, I would say, man, probably my first like freaking kindergarten.
Did you grow up in Fall River, by the way?
I
Sorry.
did, yeah, man,
okay.
yeah. My whole life. It's actually funny. So my parents moved, you know, from St. Michael years and years ago. They lived in Fall River on Thomas Street next to Immaculate Conception,
Okay,
in
yeah.
apartments down there. Then they built a house on Meridian Street.
Mm-hmm.
I actually bought the lot off my father next door. So now my parents are my neighbors. So I
hell
grew
yeah.
up my whole life on Meridian Street, 2 houses down. So yeah, so they moved, you know, they moved to that house. They've been there forever. That's where I grew up. Went to Espirito Santo School, then to Diamond, and then, you know.
We went to Diamond too.
Did you?
What year
Yeah.
did you graduate?
Oh, wait.
Oh, wait, 11. Yeah.
Oh, wow.
11,
And what
yeah.
year?
I graduated in 13.
13, yeah.
Oh, no shit.
Yeah,
So
so-
I'm sure we have some mutual friends in the book somewhere.
Could be, yeah.
Yeah, for sure.
Did
That's
you
cool.
do graphics at Diamond?
So no, I was actually in, I don't know what they call it now, but it was like office.
Office technology?
Yeah, it was office tech when I was there. I think
Yeah,
it's
they call
like
it-
business management now or something.
Yeah, because my nephew goes there and he was like explaining all the shops and I guess office like technology. or
Yeah,
office
yeah.
tech
Or whatever it is.
like business and management.
Oh, no shit.
Yeah, so you know, I mean, they probably do the same thing, just different lettering now.
Yeah,
like
it's gotta
you know,
be the same type of world where you get experience on computers. That's one of the
Yeah.
reasons I went on there. Into that shop was more along the lines of like kept hearing like the chirping of like the internet's gonna be wild, you know, everything's gonna kind of change, and I was already like whatever, like almost 20 years ago it seems. But that's one of the main reasons I went on into that shop was to get exposure to, you know, computers, you know, all that shit now, which helped me drastically into where I am now, you know,
Yeah,
obviously. And a lot of it there was, you know, logo design work and shit like that. So it gave me a little bit of exposure to what I'm doing now, versus if somebody didn't, it'd be a lot harder to learn certain programs, certain ways to, you know, work on logos and all that kind of stuff.
Yep.
So yeah, I went there, you know, for the 4 years I was there and graduated in 08, went to BCC and then UMass Dartmouth, and that was it, man. Right into working. But yeah, it's been a crazy ride. To think it was like 15, 20 years ago already is like, oh my God.
How old are you?
34, I think.
No, I'm 30. I'm 30 next
Yeah.
month, so it's all
There you
good.
go. That's when everything goes downhill.
Yeah.
The day I turned 30, I got a stiff neck when I woke
Hey.
up. What the hell, dude? Everybody busts my
Jesus.
balls about, you know.
I'm always starting to have a bad hip, so it's a bad omen.
There's always something when you know,
There's
every
always
year
a
that
bad
goes
omen.
by, there's always something, man.
Jeez. My wife's like, look at you. Look at you.
Falling apart.
My girl's like that too.
She's like, you're falling apart already? I'm like, what the hell?
I'm stuck with this guy now.
Yeah,
I'm going to be stuck with a handicapped guy for the rest of my life.
I hear the
I
same
love my
thing.
wife.
It's funny. Yeah, right.
love her.
Yeah,
So,
she knows.
so to circle back, you said you were a shy kid, huh? Like,
Yeah.
that's-
So that's what I was saying. So when, like I said, when I came, when my parents moved into that house, I was already probably like, I don't know, like 5 or something like that. And I was kind of just like a homebody, right?
Yeah.
Even growing up, right? They were my
Did
parents.
you have any siblings?
So I have an older brother.
brother,
He's
okay.
actually 13 years apart. We're 13 years apart.
Okay, yeah, so big gap,
So big
yeah.
gap there, but he was always like somebody I was wicked close to. You know, I look up to my brother. You know, he's a good shit. But yeah, growing up, you know, he was never the shy one. He was always balls to the wall. You know, all partying, having fun, going crazy. You know, all this kind of shit. But from like that kindergarten to 8th grade, it was I kind of, you know, I was with a group of like 28 people, right?
Yeah.
It wasn't like I ever got that experience to go like, you know, to a college where I could dorm and, you know, meet tons of people. I always kind of was at home, right? My parents would work an 8 to 5, right? My father owned the hardwood floor business for his whole life of being here, pretty much. My mother worked at Bank of America for 40 years as a telemanager, and I would be, you know, at my grandmother's 8 to 5. If we went outside, it was like, hey, we're gonna hit you with a stick, dude. Get back over here, you know. It was like you don't go to the churchyard.
It ain't safe over there.
Yeah, it's like you don't see no neighbors. No, every van is somebody's gonna rob you. Like you didn't do shit. So very little exposure back in the day, right? And then went to high school, and that's when I kind of started to like really. You know, obviously you get out of your shell to a certain extent, right? After like freshman year, sophomore year, you start to become friends with a lot of people and, you know, you start doing sports and all that kind of shit. Then it kind of opens you up to everything.
Yeah.
And then I think like more along the lines, and I was still like kind of like not really quiet, but I would stay to like my group and chill with them and hang out with them and, you know, stuff like that. And then it gets to a point where like the college days where you kind of just realize like, who gives a shit what people think? Who gives a shit what what you look like to a certain extent, right? You know, there's always people that care about that stuff. And don't get me wrong, I'm like that too. But you know, it was like a snap of a finger where it was like none of it really like who cares, you know. So then I got to the point, man, where like I could talk to anybody about anything and have a great time, dude. You know what I mean? Especially if there's a few beers around. It'll be a long, fun night, man. But
Hell yeah.
yeah, man, that's like I said, a kind of crazy road of Portuguese Catholic kid that
Oh yeah.
grew up
I
with.
never went to Catholic school.
No.
All public.
Yeah.
No kidding, huh?
Look
Where'd
at
you
me.
go to school?
I went to Laurel Lake. That's not around anymore.
Yeah, I was gonna say I don't even know what that is.
Yeah, so you know where O'Reilly's is in the dollar store?
Yep,
Next
okay.
to Fiestas. Right, that plaza where O'Reilly's is. That used to be the old Laurel Lake.
No kidding.
So right down the street from my house, it was a beautiful thing.
yeah, no kidding.
Then I went to Henry Lord,
Okay, yeah.
and then I went to Diamond, and then I completed a couple years at Johnson and Wales. I said, "Fuck culinary. I don't want to do this shit no more."
Yeah, man.
I did actually. Hello.
Yeah, hello.
Oh, you should have answered it, bud.
Just ran the podcast.
I know,
Oh,
hell
we're about
yeah.
to get the voicemail on.
Yeah, right.
Oh Jesus Christ. Oh, sorry about
There
that
you
guy.
go. Nah, it would have been great to hear it.
We're gonna leave that in the podcast.
Somebody for your parents talking
Actually, like
Portuguese.
personal information.
Yeah, right.
Just Dr. Mendy's calling. You know.
So yeah, I spent a couple years in Johnson and Wales. It was a great school, but
Yeah.
culinary wasn't for me.
Yeah,
and
yeah,
then
yeah.
I did a semester and a half at BCC for graphic design.
Oh no shit.
And
Want a job?
what is it?
Want a job?
I'm pretty content where I am, but hey, I'm open. I'm open to side work.
Yeah, right.
And then I kind of I was like, yeah, dude, because I was working in the restaurant industry for so long. I'm
Sure.
like, I need to get out of this because it was all weekends.
Yeah,
I would
yeah.
never see my
Like,
wife. I would
usually
never
late
see my
days.
family. Oh
Yeah.
yeah, dude. So I was like, yeah, fuck it. I'll just become a plumber. So I followed my brother's footsteps, and here I am, 4 years later.
No shit. Is
Yep.
your brother still a plumber?
He's still a plumber. Yep.
Nice.
So
No business owners yet?
no, I think I might be the first one in
Yeah?
my family.
for you.
I'm really gunning for it.
Yeah.
You know, we're really gunning for it.
I mean, technically, you kind of. I mean,
Do you guys work together now?
yeah.
Oh, do you?
Yeah.
We run this kind of like little podcast thing,
Yeah.
and then we have like this little media thing we're doing on
Oh,
the side
nice.
as well.
Okay,
Yeah,
so
yeah.
you guys predominantly do this, but you're not a plumber.
No,
Okay, all right.
no,
I didn't know if you guys worked at like a
No,
times
no.
together or whatever. Nice, man.
I don't know if Alex wants to share his work stories or not.
Maybe not right now.
Yeah,
I work in marketing and missions
Sure.
though for school.
Yeah, nice.
But yeah, kind of transitioning a little
Yeah,
bit right now.
absolutely, man.
Yeah.
It never stops, man. There's always a way to, grow and get into something different. And trust me, I never thought I'd be where I am. So there's a lot of room to get to what you want to do and, go for it, man.
Yeah.
But no, it's cool, man. The podcast thing nowadays can turn into a wild thing, man. Pretty soon you guys will be like Joe Rogan out there.
We're trying.
Yeah,
We're trying.
right?
We've met some crazy people.
We have met some crazy people.
Yeah? That's awesome.
I think Connor Matthew. We had a UFC fighter
Yeah,
on our last
yeah, I
episode.
saw that. Yeah,
He's fighting
cool.
this week. Big shout out to Connor.
Yeah,
February
man.
15th.
Good luck.
Yeah.
Good luck. February 15th on ESPN.
good
UFC
luck.
Fight Night at the Apex. Watch it.
right.
But
That's cool.
going back to the signage and everything like that. So, I guess what would be like the first job that you kind of took on, and then you felt like oh shit, like I'm here, like this is what I want to do for the rest of my the rest of my career.
Yeah.
A job that like a feel good job. You know what I mean?
Honestly, man, I would say the first 3 months of it, hands on, with some people that, I work with, or I used to work with, kind of trained me, right? I was like, holy shit, I don't know if I can do this finesse work, man. And then after a while, you get better and better at it pretty quick. Again, I had no experience hands-on whatsoever. So I just jumped in with, some girls I used to work with and started to get better and better at it, like I said. And then I would say my first pretty big project that I was like, all right, it's time to go now. We did... I had some help again. I called in some big dogs, but we did a citywide glass rebrand. It was about like 14 vans, 14 total trucks, vans, units, and it was one of those things where we just rocked it out in 3 days, and that's kind of where I was like, holy shit, there's not many people that can do 14 vans in 3 days. Like this is some good shit. I'm sure there is, right, if people want to go balls to the wall with it, but it was one of those turning points where I'm like, all right. Everything came out smooth. Everything looked mint. We did it quick. It was, a profitable thing because of how quick we did, the project. And that's when I was like very, very confident what I was doing. Right. And that's when that was kind of like the turnkey of me using people to help me out. It's now got to say, for example, right, it was one of those things, with less experience, you might, call in some help maybe once every 2 weeks, right? If the job is a little different or sketchy or it's big or whatever, you call these people in, just to give you a hand. Sometimes it's literally just like, hold this at that corner and I'm going that way. And now I would say, man, once every 6 months I have to, call somebody in, which is good. So again, you start to progress with the skill set, and then your confidence goes up. With your confidence going up, you just continuously get better. And then it was slowly but surely where I'm like, all right, I can easily do this. Now let me offer, fully, covering glass units. Now let me get into, apparel, because a lot of my customers weren't. At the time, it seemed like everybody was like, do you do apparel, man? I've been waiting freaking 7 weeks. And I'm like, no, but I'll figure out a way to get this done too. Take that on, and like I said, with time, you get better at all of it, and you continuously produce, right? And for me, it's continuously learning in the graphics world's wild, right? There's material out there where I can wrap your whole walls. There's material out there where I can wrap houses now.
Wow.
It's wild shit. And, it's continuously learning and getting into those, environments and, technology and what's out there. And for us, it's a little bit tough because we're in the Fall River area, right? There's not too many people that want to wrap a house. Or, do on a $30 million home, stuff like that. But again, it's great to be able to offer it because even if it's one job a month that somebody calls you for, it's another job that you have. So, like I said, we're offering about like 7 things now. And it went from, like I said, that kind of starting point where I'm like, all right, I'm good at this. I'm going to take this on and go balls to the wall with it. And don't get me wrong, man. There's days where I'm like, I want to take over the world. I want to do everything. I want to be the best at everything. And then there's days where I'm like, shit, I'm ready to give this all up and go work part-time at Home Depot,
But it's good to have that mindset, though, of like world domination, taking over the world, you know what I mean? To a certain extent, like
very competitive.
I think it's
mind-driven.
instilled, I feel like a good, business owner or a good entrepreneur, they're so, having that competitive drive is always instilled in them.
I feel like to be really successful, at least to be able to grow, you need to have that drive because I've met, plenty of great, experienced people in so many industries, man, where they're like, I'm good here. I don't want to hire nobody. I'm cool making, $100,000 a year.
They were content.
They're perfect with it. But they can finish a day at 1, no stress in the world. For me, it's all day, all night, man. I'm like, oh shit, I forgot to send that lady an email back. Next thing you know, it's 11:45 and I'm sending her an email back.
Right.
That's just the personality I have, you know what I mean? So that might be crazy to a lot of people to be like, this guy's really nuts, man. He's, emailing and texting all night, but that's just the way I am, But it's hard to turn your brain off that way too. So you could definitely be content that way where, you work 40 hours a week, you're cut off at $100,000, your head is turned off of work completely and that's it, But you definitely need that drive if you want to grow to be able to, offer more product line services or, grow the business and hire more people, whatever it is, I feel like you definitely need that ambition and drive to be able to do so. What I mean? You could definitely be successful without it for sure. Because I know people that, like I said, are very, very good with where they're at. They don't care about anything else. Who knows where things will be in 5 to 10 years, right? Things may change to the point where now that's not good enough, right? But like I said, I think that's a huge part of, successful businesses is having people that, want to continuously kick ass and keep rocking it. And like I said, take over the world. That's the way I look at things.
Yeah,
man.
yeah.
Well, so what drives you then? What do you like after? Is there something you want to attain, or
It's crazy.
It's a big
man.
question, but
it's not even. It's crazy, brother. But it's not even like money. Like whether I make 100 grand, 200, 300, 500, like it doesn't matter because like I feel like I have what I already want. Right.
Yeah.
I got a family essentially, right? I don't have no kids, but I got my girl, my dog. I'm cool. I'm
The
happy.
dog's a kid.
Hell yeah.
My
baby.
dog's a kid.
I'll sell my house for my baby. Dude. Hell yeah, dude. But,
Likewise.
I love
Likewise.
I love that aspect of it. We built a beautiful home. We have a nice backyard where we can have friends and family over. Like I'm good with that. Like I'm not the type of person where like I need to go buy a Lamborghini. Like that's just not me.
Right.
Some people love that shit. Some and God bless them. But it's not even the money thing, man. It's honestly I get excitement when new people text me and they're like, hey, I'm looking for a new van to be like, it's almost like just the need of your service, right?
Yeah.
They trust in you to do it. It's like that, just that feeling of like, you're needed for this. I've had people drive 2.5, 3 hours just to get their trucks lettered. I'm like, oh, you're a little nuts, man, but I respect the shit out of you. And I will get you work in your area if I can, you know?
Yeah.
And it's just, like I said, dude, it's whatever the hell that is called, man, that's the driving factor for me, man, Like I said, it's almost like it's your name, you're right? You want to, build your name, your legacy, whatever it can turn into, right? And that's kind of the biggest thing for me is more so I care more that, like, I have a good rep out there. I offer good work. People respect me versus the money intake, right?
Yeah.
Like, to me, don't get me wrong, it's great. Everybody wants to make great money, live a better lifestyle, go on vacations, whatever it is. But like I said, for me, it's like more communications that I build is what makes me like kind of happy, right? It's one of those things where I get excited about it, right? I got, if I need something at the house, I got a few plumbers I can call right now. I like that shit more.
Yeah.
Like I said, I'm very personable with that stuff. So, the respect and loyalty of, using people and helping people out and, helping the local guys out and vice versa. That's something that makes me like really, really strive to continuously kick ass with it. You know what I mean? I like
love
that
that.
shit,
So like
man.
that connection, that community is like
For sure,
part
man.
of your driving factor
Yeah,
or the
man.
driving factor.
It's
for
crazy. You never really think about that until you're really, involved with it a little bit, right? I never really thought about like the community and, any of that stuff until I was on my own and I was like, shit, like as a team, like we could do a lot for the community or we could do a lot for, not even other businesses, man. I know some people, man, where they might be quiet and they'll like message me and be like, hey, you know anybody that needs something? I'm like, let me ask around for you.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like I don't want to be in that predicament, but it happens, dude. We're in a crazy world. The economy's wild. Everything's changed over like the last 5 years. But like that kind of shit, even though it might be a hassle to be like, oh, let me freaking ask 20 people if they need anything, or let me see. It's like one of those things where I take a lot of pride in that guy thought of me to go and ask around to get him some work or whatever it is, man. You know what I mean? It's like I said, it's a cool thing, man. That's the biggest thing I would say about, the business where I get most excited about, you know what I mean? That type of shit, man.
To be honest, man, I'm surprised you haven't been on a podcast before. Being the voice for other
No,
people, I'm
dude.
surprised. Like,
I know, bro. You know what's crazy, man? With the social media world out there, it's the video and real world and the podcast world is so big for businesses nowadays, man, where it's like every day I'm like, shit, I got to get on Reels.
Yeah.
Shit, I got to make some videos. But I don't have the time to do it myself, man.
I mean,
You
you're
know what I mean?
already working 60. There's no
I
more
know, bro.
hours in the day.
It's tough, dude, but it's such a crucial thing nowadays.
It is.
Especially for like, the younger group, right? There's a lot of older people in my industry, in every industry, right? Yeah. Every service industry where they're good, they got word of mouth, they stay busy, whether it's, at their, flatline course or they're busy where they're like, holy shit, we got to grow.
Right.
Just with word of mouth. They don't need that shit, right?
Right,
They might
right.
be retiring in 5 years, 7 years, and they're like, oh, we'll get by without any of this.
Yeah.
But in our generation, with AI and everything coming out, man, it's going to be a huge thing for like the future of business owners, man. And then like whoever really adapts to it first is going to be the next like generation that's like, we're good with word of mouth. I don't need anything else because I set myself up with, my reels are great. Like just check out, Matt. Respect for you, man.
Yeah.
I was talking to him about it. He's rocking the social media world out there. And it's one of those things that he was kind of mentioning that it's starting to actually bring him in work because people see him on social media. Yeah. And vice versa for me, right? Even more so where because I take a lot of pride in shouting out the businesses I work for, it's a huge again, on that respect factor where you might own like an electrical business and you might be like, holy shit, dude, this guy has 100,000, 400,000 views. Like, I want to link up with this guy because he's going to push 400,000 people onto my business or whatever it is.
Right.
It's a big thing, man. You know what I mean? And talkative, not talkative, whatever it is, shy, not shy, man. It's like one of those things where I'm never... I would never be the type of person to be like, let me get on this camera. Like, I can't do it, dude.
Yeah.
I want to be that guy, but I'm not.
You are that guy right now.
Right now.
I'm that guy.
You kind of just sat down and you were like, okay.
Let's get this ripping. Yeah.
I would never to see you as like, not a guy that's like not good in front of, well, I wouldn't say not good in front of cameras, but you're just never not in front of them, I guess.
That's why I was so curious to ask the question. Like,
Yeah,
how did you,
like, dude.
how did this happen?
Yeah.
Like, what?
There's
Because you're good now, bro.
You're
Like,
really
like,
good.
maybe you should take this over. You're
I'll join you guys.
yeah. Hey, say less, dude.
No, it's
Recurring guest. We love it.
yeah, I'm in, man. Next time, I can't wait, man. You guys upgrade your place, I'm going. You guys upgrade to your next mansion, I'm going. I got to get on this podcast.
Hell yeah, dude.
Man, I don't know, man. It's the type where I've never been the type of person to take too many pictures, right? Like my personal social media pages, like I might have my social media man for like 15 years, and I think I've only posted like 30 pictures. And maybe like 5 or 10 of myself, right? I'm not the type of guy that's, been the type to be, on camera, take pictures, be in front of, like, I always be like, holy shit, man, I gained like 80 pounds, man. You know what I mean? Like, and I'm like, nah. Then it's like my voice. I'm like, holy shit, dude, I sound like ass. I'm like, this ain't for me.
I know that
Turn the
feeling.
phone off. Next thing you know, I'm like, yeah, I'm going to work. So phone stays home,
Yeah.
But yeah, like I said, it kind of goes down to like really not giving a shit. If you can produce good, content, and make anything catchy, man. Nowadays, man, if you make something catchy, you're golden. And it could be as quick as like freaking, a quote that people are like, dude, I can't wait to hear that guy say that quote again. Dude, you're good. You're all set. It's wild.
Right.
But it's a very strong thing for businesses, man, and it's only gonna get crazier. So I'm gonna figure something out. That's, I think, gonna be the next step. I think this year with continuously growing and trying to get busier, I want to get more into that like real video world where I might even just let a professional take over, because I think it is such a crucial thing, and in the world that that we're in, we do some cool stuff, man. So you could definitely make some fun content out of it, right? Even if it's like lettering a vehicle, with like a time lapse.
Right.
Some people really like to see that shit, or unveiling some signs or whatever it is. There's definitely some good content that could be made out of it. It's just a matter of like figuring it out, getting the time to do it. Like I could never spend time editing right now. Like there's no way, So I think I want to spend a little bit of, whatever, even funds to do so and shit like that. Because like I said, I know how important it is now, and it's gonna continuously grow. So
And you have such a great personality too, man.
Thanks.
Because I even think of like someone like
appreciate you.
Matt. Before I seen his content, I'm like, plumbing content can't be that interesting.
Right?
But then you watch his stuff and you're like, bro, I don't really give a shit about plumbing stuff.
Yeah.
But watching him do his thing, I'm like, bro, I've watched a lot of his a lot of it.
Dude, I can proudly say I watch every single one of Matt's videos.
Yeah, man.
100%. I was like 2 a.m. just scrolling through his Instagram reels.
I agree with you 100%, man. And it's weird to even think of that, right? Before these reels and content and shit.
It was hard. It was like, it was hard to get
Like,
stuff out there.
I don't give a shit what a plumber does. Like you were saying, like
Same, bro.
to a
Yeah.
certain extent.
Yeah.
Right? I respect the shit out of you when I need you.
Right.
Thank God
But
you're
you
around.
wouldn't like scroll through Instagram.
But I would never think I want to see this guy do stuff. And next thing you know, I'm like, wow, that's how it works?
Yeah.
This is wild.
Right.
So I'm watching sometimes at night people making candy. And I'm like, what the fuck is going on?
Yeah.
It's wild, man.
Yeah.
But something about it can really, and again, if you have a good personality, just sometimes listening to the way they talk, they act, their demeanor, it can really catch your attention to the point where you're like, wow, I've been watching this for 12 minutes, dude. You know what I mean? It's wild.
Yeah.
But like I said, if you can produce content like that, you're a force to be reckoned with, man, in this world. So it's definitely, like I said, it's a very important thing, I think, and there's going to be a lot of change with that shit moving forward, man.
Yeah.
So you say that, that's like one of your plans for this year, right?
Yeah.
What's Kyle's 5-year plan, whether it be personal or professional? What's your 5-year plan right now?
It depends on the day you ask me, because I might be working part-time at Home Depot. Man, I would like to say, right, if things all go well, man, I would like to say, like, I'm back at... So I used to, when I first started, I used to have, like, a small little garage set up. And again, I'm going to throw you into a story a little bit, right?
Yep.
So I used to have a garage set up for cheap money, overhead doors. I was good. I had a little desk spot in there and my material in there. And then every year I was using it less and less because, again, I was going into a lot of people were, do you travel? Are you remote? And I'm like, sure. And again, I'm using this facility like once or twice a month, usually in the wintertime, sometimes a little bit more because, again, I have my own residential. I can make it work out of standard garages for most trucks. Yeah. And it goes from like $350, a month to $700 to $900 and I'm like, screw this, dude. So I took it all back. And right now, that's what I was saying. I'm finishing up pretty much my whole production spot to be in. And just like you guys, man, starting off in my basement was like nothing, man. Now it's like a full-blown shop where I'm running everything efficiently out of there. Good enough size to pretty much do anything I need to down there, which is great. Plus, it's a tax benefit, thank God.
We love them taxes.
Yeah, yeah. So that's what I'm focusing on right now. But I'm thinking, again, if I have a year like I did, this past year, and it continuously grows, and we, offer more, whatever it is, I would definitely be in a storefront type environment where I have, a nice, and again, it doesn't need to be crazy big. There's other companies out there with storefronts, and they run very successful businesses. Obviously, you have much more overhead, but still, it's one of those things that there's an additional like legitimacy factor to it, where bigger companies like, for example, FedEx, they have customers, or I should say, they work with companies that have usually storefronts and all this legitimacy factors to it. Where for me, it's like I'm more of like one of the local guys, a part of that local team, and we bang shit out, right? So. Again, a part of me wants to get to the point where we're at that, we have a facility, a nice team where that's the one thing I miss, man, is having my team where I can, see them every morning. Hey, how are you? Bullshit with them, bullshit, And now, like I said, doing it all on your own, you lose that. And like I said, you can tell, right? I'm talkative as a bastard. I liked having people come in and be like, hey, how was your weekend? You good? Yeah. Awesome, man. If you need something, come see me.
Right.
So getting back to a team would be great. But again, that's a huge change
So are you a one-man show right now?
Yeah, I'm a one-man show. For the sign world, I have 2 guys that I work with, 3 if need be, with, obviously to offer bucket truck services and stuff like that. And then I have also 3 people that help me in the vinyl world if need be. Usually, like I said, large scale stuff.
Right.
To a certain extent, I could do most of it unless I'm doing something pretty massive. So yeah, like more along the lines of like some side work for people, right? I don't 1099 them, none of that shit. I just, hey, can you work Saturday? Perfect. 4 hours, I'll give you a few $100, whatever it is. You know what I'm saying? That's how I'm running right now, especially because, like I said, I can take care of most of it. So a lot of the times, you just make shit happen and you pull them when you need them. So yeah, one-man show, by the books anyway. Yeah. So
IRS, if you're watching.
Yeah. You don't know who I am. But yeah, so I'm thinking, like I said, something like that would be great.
Getting back to like a team.
Yeah, I would definitely, like I said, love that factor where, I make it worth it for them as well, where they're like a part of the business and they're working for like their business. Like I like that shit, right? Where it's not just you're somebody making $30 an hour because you're a designer. Like I'd rather it be a little bit like, this is yours too type of
having
vibe.
that skin
like
in the
that
game.
For sure. And with that, definitely working less, man. You know what I mean? It's a great thing when you really like what you do and 10 hours doesn't seem like 10 hours or whatever it is, but time freaking flies, dude. And working what I'm working right now, you can tell I'm like, how the hell have I done this for like 3 years already? Like, I feel like I started this a month and a half ago.
Damn.
And you're like, 34? I was just 28, guy. You know what I mean? Dude, time flies. So, having a little bit more time with the wife, dude, with, my puppy, whatever's to come, right? Family, friends, shit like that, because you could definitely tell that, there's always, a back burner when you're focusing so heavily on anything, right? If you're focusing on, work, something's going to fall off. If you're focusing on, whatever, your family, your work might fall off. You're focusing on vacations, you're behind on something, But even, vacation, I love to travel, man. I've traveled so many different places, man. But it's definitely took a long break since, starting the business and also saving money for the house, all that shit. Definitely getting back to that, if you make, good enough money traveling 1-2 times a year is a freaking great thing. Good goal to kind of attain on a personal level, right?
Right.
Turn your freaking brain off, dude. I love going to Portugal. I have a house up there, dude.
Oh, hell yeah.
I freaking love going up there. Nowadays, back in the day, horrible. But now that they got streets, man, get me by the water, man. I love it, man. So definitely going, more vacations is such a freaking good thing. And when you're in such a hectic environment all the time, and always your brain it definitely takes a toll, man. Especially, like I said, as a one-man show. So if everything works out well, dude, and the funds are there and the profit's there, I would love to, like I said, have a nice spot, man, have a nice team, be able to take a little bit of time off, man, not work freaking 8:30 at night, come upstairs, when family's tired and shit like that, change that up a little bit, but. You know how it is, man. It's always grind time in the beginning, man.
100%.
Always.
Yeah.
And then sometimes to succeed, you got to take some risks, and you got to take, you got to pick and choose what you want to focus on for a little bit, and try to do what's best for you, your family, your friends, and it's not worth losing them over the job either. But you got to, like I said, it works both ways, man. When you're trying to grow something and build like a business or whatever it is, you got to set aside some serious time for it. But it's good.
Besides, like the whole grinding, like in the beginning, right?
Yeah.
What advice can you give to like people that are entering, like owning their own business in the beginning? Like, what kind of advice can you tell them? And I've heard the amount of people.
You're
I always
probably
ask this
gonna-
question to like business owners that I
I might
talk
say
to,
the same thing
and they
everybody
always
else
say like, "Don't do it."
Number one piece of advice.
But some of them always say like like grind hard. Like first couple of years are gonna be tough. Grind hard. You know what I mean? And surround yourself with like-minded people.
Yeah.
So I guess my question to you now is, what sort of advice, tips, anything you can give to like us, because
Yeah,
we're
sure.
kind of like starting off too,
Yeah, hell
and
yeah.
obviously our viewers that are like wanting to start their own business
Yeah.
too, just
So-
from like your share experience.
Sure,
from
sure.
it, too.
So I would probably say just about the same, right? Everybody kind of says the same type of stuff.
Yeah.
Because they all agree with it, right? And they hear it, and whatever from videos or managers or great bosses or whatever it is. You kind of hear the same thing, and you relay that message on to the next generation, the next guys, or whatever it is.
Yeah.
But no matter what you do, right, you got to work hard for what you want, right? Like you were saying, making sure that you provide good service is number one to anything that I could tell anybody. Because, like I said, in my world, in every service world, you hear the pros and cons of everybody that has worked before you, after you, yourself. You're gonna hear pros and cons about yourself, whatever it is. Yep. And if you're not providing good service, they're gonna look elsewhere. So when you're starting off a business and you're not focusing on good service, good communication with your customers, like I was saying earlier, you can lose them just like that to the next guy. And in that kind of, to me, that beats the grind and work hard, because no matter what, you're going to have to do that. Whether you want to work 40 hours a week or 60 or 80 or whatever it is, you can kind of control that. But a lot of it is going to come down to the way you treat people. If you tell, like, again, I'm huge into this because I've done a lot of things and worked with a lot of people where, they tell me they're going to be there Friday, and hello, are you coming here Friday? If I'm going to tell you that I'm going to be there Sunday morning at 9 o'clock, I'm there at Sunday morning at 9 o'clock, and your job is going to get done. Unless there's obviously an emergency, something happens, I'm going to let you know. Yeah. That's obviously a little bit, when you're already in the game, right? To kind of keep, the good service, your establishment, growing, good name for it. But I think that's one of the biggest things, because you hear about that from so many people where it's like, this guy told me he was going to be here today, he's not here. And it's happened to me too, where it's like, I'll be there Monday morning, and nobody's there Monday morning. Right. And it's like for me, it's, make sure that you commit to your commitments. It's a huge thing, right? And kind of prior to starting the, any business you're in, the skill set in I would say learn whatever you can about your industry, because knowledge is key to anything you can do, right? If you know and you can talk to any of your customers and you sound like you're knowledgeable with plumbing, whatever it is, they're gonna be like, holy shit, this guy knows his shit. You're my guy, so. For me, like I said, the graphics world can be so many different things. It could be signs, banners, plaques, stickers, decal, whatever. And, for me, I spend a lot of time trying to learn a little bit of everything, right? Like, I didn't know anything about window tint till last year, but now I know about, all these type of window frames. So, stuff doesn't burst, and then you kind of grow into that world, right? So, obviously, knowledge is key. Continuously grow your focus on learning. There's so many opportunities out there in videos, and there's access to so many different platforms and shit like that where you can learn your industry. Obviously, training courses. There's so many things like that, but knowledge is a big thing, especially when you're communicating with your customers or potential customers to show them that what you're doing. They're confident in you. You get the jobs that way. When you get the jobs, you get obviously success from it. So I think that's a big thing, but definitely, like I said, it's a lot of hard work. Can't let it get to you. Take the risk. Sometimes it's scary in the beginning, but if you, like I said, and like, the team said, if you work hard and you know your shit, you'll do all right. Make sure you take care of your customers, though. That's number one. Always.
What?
I love that idea. Like, you got to be committed to your commitments.
I'm about to run through a wall, okay? You are motivating the fuck out of me right now. I'm about to run through that fucking wall right
Yeah.
now.
You know what I think? I'm like, shit, I probably look like a fat dude. I sound like a moron, and I'm never going on video again. But it's great. Nah. It's good, man. But
Sometimes
man,
people
it's
need to
a
hear
good
it,
shit.
you know what I mean? Sometimes, like,
Yeah.
they see it on like, the reels and everything, but, like,
Sure.
people don't do it.
Yeah, it's crazy, man. It's crazy because it's easy to be tired. It's easy to be like, I'll come back tomorrow. Fuck it.
Yeah.
And again, it is very, you need the traits to a certain extent, but if you want something, you'll make it happen. There's some days when I'm in a job, whether I'm like, how the fuck am I messing this up? Or what's right? What's wrong? Why is this not happening? I don't even fucking know what time it is. I know I'm not leaving until this fucking job is done.
Yeah.
I don't care if I rip a piece of, say, for example, vinyl off a truck, or something rips, or something fails, or it's crooked a quarter of an inch. I'm going to fucking leave, go redo it, and go back to that job site to make sure the job is closed out. Again, that's a little bit of my OCD, but also, like, that's the quality of the work that I want to produce.
Yeah.
So it's, like I said, you got to, like, fight for that shit that you want. But a lot of people would be like, tomorrow's another day, fuck it. I'll keep your truck for one more day. Like, I run as in, like, you bring your truck to me at 9 a.m., it's done by 1, that's it, see you later. You know what I'm saying? So that's the way I like to do, run my business.
Right.
So
You don't want to leave any loose ends either. you know
yeah,
what I mean?
yeah. Like, again, I'm that type of person where I like to close jobs out. So
Yeah.
I have that ambition where I'm like, shit, I gotta do whatever it takes. And it doesn't need to be that way, and that's probably why I work so much too, is where it's, I just want to make sure it's done. I'm getting on to the next job, and it just keeps going, right? I always say to myself and, like, my girl and shit like that, where it's like, I work so hard so I can be caught up so I can take like 3 days off. It never fucking, where's the 3 days off? It just doesn't seem to ever happen. Something always comes up and it needs your time. So to a certain extent, right, you got to prioritize your time because there's always going to be work. There's enough work out there for fucking everybody.
Yeah.
So you got to, and she'll be like, wow, you said all this stuff today, but you never like that with me. You just fucking back in the dungeon working. I'll be like, yeah, I'm trying to get better at it. But
Don't worry, Kyle loves you. Kyle loves
she
you.
knows. No, but it's, like I said, dude, there's always enough work. It's about balancing your time, brother. But no, it's good, man. Like I said, it's good shit.
Yeah. We're gonna take a huge left turn right now because I'm fucking hungry as shit.
Yeah.
Because I'm thinking about Portuguese food. That's why.
Ooh.
Here we go.
Yeah. Your top 5 favorite dishes.
Ooh, Portuguese steak.
Number 1.
Number 1, brother.
How do you like it?
Usually medium, but
Okay.
it's got to be from Calderas, man.
Oh.
Caldadas, huh? Okay.
Number 1 for me, dude. Come on, man. Have you tried it?
Huh?
Have you tried it?
I have.
You must have. Dude, what?
I have.
Calderas,
I'm a
number
big
1,
I'm a
man.
big TA guy.
Really? So I haven't
is-
been to TA in years, so I can't.
They changed a lot of their stuff.
Yeah.
Dude, their menus.
So I'm one of those guys where it's like, if I like it, I'm going there every time. So that's why I don't venture out too much into like other places.
You're loyal.
Yeah, to
I
a certain
fuck
extent.
with
Like
that.
if it's good,
I fuck with that.
if it's good, that's the only place I'm going to.
Yeah,
You know what I mean? To a certain extent.
I can't say the same. I have to like try everything. You know?
Yeah, man.
It's good
no.
to have options. You know.
I just, dude, I can't, like, if I'm craving some good Portuguese food, I can't be like, oh, let me try this fucking place. And then I go in there and I'm like,
It's
wow,
ass,
this is
right?
the worst
Yeah,
fucking
yeah.
$20 steak plate. It ain't even about the money, dude. I've had some freaking expensive place before where I'm like, wow, this fucking sucks.
Yeah.
Like, it doesn't even matter what it is, man. I just want to make sure that the food is good. You know what I'm saying?
100%.
So for me, Calderas number 1, baby. Yeah, dude, you got to give me anything Mozambique, dude. Shrimp Mozambique, chicken Mozambique.
Okay.
I'm rocking with that, and bringing it back to like some real green horn shit. Give me some octopus, dude. I love that shit too, man.
Yeah, that's true. What kind of? How do you like it?
I like
though?
it grilled.
Grilled? I'm a
usually
big grilled
with
guy,
that
too.
like the potatoes and the
Yeah,
sauce and
yeah,
stuff. So good, dude. Yeah, so good. What's the Portuguese place that freaking actually sells it, dude? Oh my god, not Barcelos, the other one over there. They have they set up the pre-finished meals. Oh my god, I'm there all the time too. But they have all the
Portugalia?
Yeah, Portugal. Yeah. They have like some good pre-finished meals over
Yeah,
there.
yeah.
They have some good stuff. Check them out. But yeah, I try to always represent these Barcelos, all these local pastry
Yeah, yeah.
places. But usually the sweets is my number 1.
Yeah.
After the steak plate, I guess. But yeah, dude. No, I love my Portuguese food, dude.
Have to.
Yeah.
If people have never tried Portuguese food, just go try it.
Oh, I know.
I don't.
feel bad,
I feel horrible for you. I'm like, you piece of shit. You're missing out.
you piece of shit. Right? What are you doing wrong?
Or like
asshole?
the people that don't like it. It's like, what do you?
That gets me, man.
Yeah.
It's like
It's
if you
like-
haven't tried it, okay, respect. You might be crazy busy. You might, like your own shit. Usually, like I've had people that haven't tried certain, Portuguese plates where I'm like, dude, you got to try this, and they end up liking it, or they're like, oh yeah, it's not bad. But when you told me you don't like a Portuguese steak, bro,
It's kind of like, what are you doing?
yeah, come on. Or
They're
where
like-
are you having it from?
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah. They're
yeah.
like, I've had buddies of mine that were like, yeah, Applebee's steak all day. I'm
Oh,
like,
Applebee's.
oh God.
You're not friends with that person anymore,
yeah,
right?
yeah.
No, I haven't
I don't
talked to
talk
them.
to nobody that goes to Applebee's. nah.
But like stuff like that where it's like, oh man, like you don't know, like
Yeah.
I'm white, but
You are?
I am. I'm white, but I put seasoning in my cooking.
man.
My wife does most of the cooking, but she puts seasoning. She makes it taste good.
Yeah,
I've been
yeah.
to people's houses where their fucking food sucks.
Yeah, dude.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
know,
And they're not Portuguese, and I feel bad because they're
Yeah.
they're not Portuguese.
I know.
You know what I mean?
And when you go to a Portuguese house, especially if it's like grandparents and
Yeah.
parents or somebody, oh, I'm gonna eat good, dude.
Yeah,
That's
oh,
the
yeah.
best Portuguese food.
100%.
You know what I mean? Colors is great
Vavo's
and all.
house? Yeah.
Dude, it's the best. I don't care what it is, dude. My grandparents used to make chorizo and fries.
Oh,
Dude,
the best.
I would die to have their chorizo and fries again. I'd have it over caldeira steak, bro.
Yeah,
You know what I mean?
yeah, oh, yeah.
Whatever
My
the
dad
grandparents
does
can
that too.
make, dude. Yeah.
Puts an egg in there and everything.
Oh,
Oh.
dude, now you're talking. Now you're talking to me.
bro.
Shit, but yeah, man, I love Portuguese food.
We got that oven behind us. I think we got to turn this into a cooking show real quick, dude.
I looked at that wall for some odd reason. I don't know why.
Oh yeah, you know what? I'm looking at the microwave agreeing
Yeah,
with
I'm
you.
like,
yeah,
oh yeah, that oven, yeah.
yeah, man.
Man,
Yeah.
oh, I can
that's good.
fuck with some like sweet rice right now.
Oh, so
with
good.
The,
I
with
had
the
some
cinnamon.
this week, dude.
Oof,
Yeah, and
I
I
can
haven't,
fuck with
haven't
that.
had it in years. My mother always helps at like church events and shit like that, and they always have like the dinners and stuff.
Yeah,
right? You
yeah.
guys are Portuguese, you know all
Yeah,
about
yeah,
it.
yep.
And she always brings like shrimp plates, a hoosh deuce. I'm like, I'll take. Give me a
hoosh
plate,
deuce, bro.
Give me a plate. Bring it over.
Yeah.
man. And then you tell some people that are not Portuguese, they're like, you eating fucking rice, bro?
Yeah,
What is
yeah.
eat rice?
Yeah.
That's nasty. You
Can't
know?
knock it till you try it, baby.
Yeah,
Can't
no
knock it
kidding.
till you try it.
And
shit.
like, there's certain people that make it better than other people.
Oh,
Oh,
100.
you know what I mean?
1,000%.
You know what I mean?
dude.
Yeah.
Oh, I
So
know, dude.
I went to the Azores a couple of years ago,
Yeah,
and
yeah.
dude, like literally, I love going to the Azores, A, because of like the culture, and then B, because of the food.
Yeah.
Oh what was it? I was around the summertime, and lapis and figs was all I ate.
Bro, lapis, whew, so good.
What do you like them cooked or raw?
Nah, I like them cooked. Grilled
Alright,
with some
I'm a big
lemon,
cook
dude.
guy.
I don't think I've ever had it raw.
I've had it raw. They're good both ways.
I didn't even know you could eat them raw.
Yeah,
Actually.
you can.
No shit.
Yeah.
Wow. See, I learned something today too. This is great. Dude. You're the man, bro. Fuck. Yeah, dude. And
But I'm a big
figs, too.
Portuguese steak guy, though. You know what I
Yeah,
mean?
yeah,
My dad,
yeah.
hands down, will make the best Portuguese
Yeah?
steak.
No
He has
shit.
like this 40-year-old cast iron skillet. It's obviously washed, but
that thing's
it's
seasoned.
seasoned. You know what I mean? Like that
All the
shit's
steaks that he's
seasoned.
made on that.
Oh, dude.
Tell him I'm coming over next time.
Yeah, I'll let him know.
Hell
He
yeah.
loves my dad. You kind of remind me of my dad a little bit.
That's funny.
He's very
Dude, I'm only
personable.
34, guy. Come on.
I'm not trying to say like,
What
hey,
the hell?
but like personable. Like, you know, if you walk inside of his house, he makes it like, you know,
Yeah.
a priority to like
Yeah, take
say
care
hi
of
to
you,
you,
make sure
shake
you're
your
good.
hand.
Yeah, absolutely.
And then like second question he's asked is like, are you hungry?
Yeah.
I feel like that's like common
Sounds like
question.
a great Portuguese
Yeah,
household, dude.
he's always asking like, are you hungry? I
Yeah.
can make you something right
Yeah.
now.
Catch something. Catch something.
Yeah. Oh, dude, that's the third question he asked too. But no, I love my pops.
Yeah, no, that's awesome, dude.
Oh man,
gotta
what
love
about you? Do you have a favorite dish or no?
I think I'm gonna follow you guys. Portuguese steak for
Portuguese
sure.
steak?
Yeah.
I don't know, man. I love TAs. They make
I'm gonna
white.
have to go over there, dude, and try it.
Yeah.
I think it's been freaking years, man, since I've been there, but now I gotta try it.
They have like the thicker steaks too, not like those like beat up
Not-
Portuguese
I like
favela
the thicker
steak.
steaks.
Yeah.
Dude, see, I like them a little bit thinner.
Oh, you like
so
the thinner?
Either
Okay.
way,
Yeah,
I've
yeah.
had some good steak that are thicker though, so I
Yeah.
might have to try it, dude.
It's almost like a fillet, right? Is what they do, like a sort of thing, like the
Oh.
meat, like a filet mignon. Like
Yeah,
that sort
but
of
Yeah, yeah.
I honestly ask for a
Ribeye.
little bit, like pound it a little bit more, because like sometimes it could be like this. I'm like, oh,
a little too
Yeah,
thick.
yeah.
you know,
Beat it a few more times, brother.
come on, brother.
Bring that shit down, bro. Nah, that's awesome, dude.
Man,
that's
great
cool.
foods. All right, sorry, didn't mean to take
Yeah.
that sidetrack like that.
Let me throw
Glad I
something.
ate
Let me throw
before,
something
yeah.
wild into the mix. Super Bowl. I don't know. Like it just happened.
Are you a sports guy?
I am.
Are you an Eagles fan?
Hell no, but
I'm not saying like.
thank God they won, man.
Oh man, I think
wanted to see them win. I wanted to see them win.
You, me, maybe Alex, and possibly
Definitely Alex.
the whole entire world was rooting for the
I'm
Eagles.
so glad they won, man.
Oh, man,
So I'm
so-
a big Pats fan, right?
Yeah.
All Boston, right? I'm a big Boston fan of everything, but I just don't want nobody to touch Brady ever. So just like
That-
get away.
After that game, I think
I was happy as hell with that. Man.
after that game, the debate's over.
Yeah, I think so too. A lot of videos are coming out about
Yeah, dude, like the debate's over.
Yeah.
Like Patrick Mahomes
love
will
it, dude.
never be on Brady's level.
Yeah.
And I could proudly say that. I could say that right in front of the microphone. I could probably say that in front of the camera. Patrick Mahomes is not better than Tom Brady. He will never be better than Tom Brady. There will be nobody better than Tom Brady, and that's just facts.
100%. 100%.
That's it.
I agree, bro.
You know what I mean?
I agree. We got the goat with us.
But-
and the coach, I think.
And
the coach goat.
big coach, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Big coach and big goat, you know.
B.
And then so that happened. I actually did watch the entire game.
Did you?
I have not watched football all season.
No shit.
Swear to God, because I knew my team.
Oh, I
I knew
love
the
Sundays.
Patriots were not going to do well.
Yeah,
So
yeah,
I'm like,
yeah.
You didn't want the heartbreak.
I didn't want the heartbreak.
Yeah, it does suck seeing them lose and get
It
beat
did.
up.
Yeah, because I grew up like
Yeah.
from
The Brady
2000.
era, man.
I grew up in the Brady and
Yeah.
Belichick era, so it was like
Yeah.
winning was so accustomed to
Yeah.
me. And I started watching the games, and I'm like, is this what people feel like?
Yeah.
Like-
That's why they don't like us.
Yeah, I'm like, oh man, what
Yeah.
the fuck? Like,
Yeah,
it
it sucks, man.
But
That's funny. But
so
yeah,
I,
it's
that
true.
was the first game. Like I think I've watched from.
So you don't do fantasy and stuff then? No.
Nah,
I was
no,
gonna
no,
say
no.
if you did fantasy, you'd watch it.
No, I don't do fantasy.
Yeah.
Not like my friends, but I do occasional sports betting, but nothing.
Yeah.
But the only main reason why I watched the Super Bowl was for the halftime show.
Yeah.
I'm a big Kendrick
Yeah.
Lamar
Yeah,
fan.
hell yeah,
You know,
it was cool.
he absolutely. There was like mixed reactions.
Yeah.
Like Kendrick sucked.
Yeah, a lot of people didn't like it.
Yeah,
I thought it was cool.
I thought
liked
it was a great halftime show. You know what I mean?
I think there was some cool shit behind the scenes too. That they,
you know the whole diss and everything like that.
I liked it, dude.
Yeesh.
I know.
Kendrick got that.
I think it brought a lot of eyes to him, though. I think a lot more people are gonna start hyping up
Yeah,
Kendrick
oh, yeah,
now
dude.
because of even the videos out there. You know what I mean? People kind of, you know how it is, right? People will be like, "Did you notice this?" And
Yeah.
shit.
I've been watching those videos all day too.
Yeah, me
It's
too,
like-
bro. Yeah.
it's
No,
like,
it's cool.
oh.
But he deserves it though. Kendrick's awesome. I like him too, man.
I'm a big
He's a good
Kendrick
shit.
fan,
Yeah. No,
Fuck
it was good. I ended up watching the Super Bowl like on a freaking one of those like jailbroken Fire Sticks, right?
Oh,
So
yeah,
it's on
yeah.
Fox and shit. Because I don't have cable anymore. It's crazy money. So
Yeah.
I just canceled that shit. Now I have a box. But it was perfect all game, dude. Halftime show hits, dude. My dog steps on the control. Fucking lost service all night. I was so pissed. I went to bed. It was halftime, and it's like hey, 2-3 seconds, and then the circle of death. And 2-3 seconds. I'm like, fuck this, dude. I'm out, bro. Right to bed, dude. I don't even know what time I went to bed, but I was so mad. I was so into the game. I'm like, dude, yes, it's like 27-0. I love this.
Yeah,
Fucking
there was a huge
nothing
margin.
worked.
Yeah, huge margin.
Yeah, dude.
But,
But it was nice to see them win, dude. That Eagles team's good, man. They, respectfully deserve it. Plus, I got a lot of freaking friends and clients of mine that like the Eagles, so you guys deserve it. But nah, it's good. It's
Yeah.
good shit, man.
Oh man, what's
cool.
next? I think it's Stanley Cup.
Mm.
No, I don't know what's next. No, the NBA.
Yeah, I was
NBA
gonna say, I
final.
think it's basketball.
I think it's
right now.
basketball next.
Yeah,
Hopefully, the Celtics can repeat again.
Mm. yeah, man. I know.
But
Yeah, it's crazy.
oh man, I'm losing my train of thought because I'm so hungry.
Yeah.
I'm like,
I would have brought you food. I asked. If you wanted
I
it.
know. I feel it's all good.
We could have been.
My
eating.
my wife made food, so I'm
Oh,
like,
so you got to save it for that.
I gotta save for that.
I
Because
hear you,
if I
man.
don't eat her food, she gets really mad at me.
Right? I slaved over the kitchen. You gotta eat there. I hear you, man. Nah, that's cool, man. That's good shit.
Any shout outs you want to give to people? Last minute plugs, maybe.
I could shout out to everybody, dude.
Good, shout out everybody.
I work with a lot of people, man. Everybody's great out there. Like for me, it's always gonna be my customers, my clients, and people. You know, hopefully we get to meet, work with, shit like that, man. I shout out to all you guys. If it wasn't for you guys, I wouldn't be here. Definitely not here. And this is the main place to be. And I wouldn't be trying to grow this business, man. Continuously working with you guys, man. Shout out to everybody. I'm sure my girl will hear this, so I need to shout out to her. Love you, baby girl.
Hell yeah.
We love to see it. Any upcoming projects that we should be on the loop for? Something
depends. It depends.
something that's like gonna pique our interest, maybe.
I have a lot of my customers are usually ones and dones for a little bit, and then they get a new van.
Yeah.
So it's not like I'm doing crazy big jobs for like freaking the TD Garden, right? That's like the company I used to work for. I used to do those big boy jobs, but no, pretty much all standard shit for me, but still crazy, busy, which is good. This time of year, a lot of people are getting a little bit slow right now.
Yep.
Obviously things have changed with, election, all that shit. So everybody's kind of like seeing where things are going to go. But,
Is that like one of your dream jobs is to like, do a big, like, let's say like,
Yeah, what's a dream client of yours?
I guess
that's kind of a
that's
cool
like
one.
dream client.
Yeah, well, there's a lot of badass customers, man, that I would definitely like to work with. But usually those bigger companies, man, they usually get, man, like large scale signs where it's like shit that you physically need like a massive facility to be able to produce it. You know what I mean? Like, for example, like when I was working at my last company, we did the Puma headquarters. We built a 32-foot cat.
Wow.
The Puma cat was 32 feet long.
That's it.
And we built that shit in the whole facility. And then we lifted it up on cranes and shit like that. Like, that's badass shit. Like, it was cool. I got to experience it. And speaking of TD Garden, like, we did all the signs for TD Garden. So it was cool to be a part of that. I already kind of went through that world. And now I'm like, obviously more of like the smaller scale, localized, you know what I mean?
Yep.
So I'm not producing signs to that extent. I'm doing more like building signs, a lot of replacement faces, those that, require a lot of logistics and, engineers and shit like that. That's a little bit, we'll see in 10, 20 years. But right now, that's a little too crazy. I don't even have time to think about that world. Yeah. I'm trying to take baby steps towards what else I can do with what I got and, continuous, growing with, whatever I can.
Yep.
Before that, that's like full-blown teams. You need, spray booths. You need tons of shit for that.
Yep.
But you never know. You never know where things go, man. Things can turn around pretty quick, man. I know people that have, stories that I've heard from certain customers of mine where they're like, shit, man, I don't know if I'm going to be able to pay payroll next week. And now they have 7 trucks and it's been a year and they got fucking 15 guys. And I'm like, they're like, dude, it was like 3 contracts.
Yeah.
You never know. You know what I mean? And like I said, my stuff isn't really crazy money like these, whatever, $2 million signs and, buildings.
Yeah.
So it's not really like, a money thing. But some of these projects can turn into like, whatever. You can do signs for, a Boston museum and they have signs all over the walls, man. Like that's a big project. Those are cool projects to have, and there's so many different businesses and shit like that. That'd be cool to work with.
Yep.
But like I said, with what I'm doing right now, a lot of it's like, you want to work with like the bigger local names. Like for me, that's good. Like I don't know, whatever. I just, worked with MV Electric. Those guys have like 50 trucks. They just gave me a call this week. You know what I mean? So again, like that's the type of shit where I want to continuously like grab those guys. Because, again, I'm the type of guy where, like I said, I can bang out like 4 or 5 trucks in a day. Right. You know what I mean? I don't offer currently like the wrap stuff because I'd rather continuously travel and continuously like bang out a bunch of work versus like the wrap world where you fully need like an enclosed environment. You can't offer, travel for that in, most cases. I don't know if anybody does it, but, shit like that. And in most cases too, you have a team to, really spend time designing and it's almost like designing murals and shit like that.
Yep.
So for me, 75%, I would say probably when I first started, 2 out of every 10 projects I would do, give or take, would be somebody asking like, hey, do you do remote? Now it's 8 out of 10 ask me to go remote. Wow. So it's like a lot of these guys are like, you could do my 3 trucks without me having to freaking drop this off, coordinate a pickup, do this. You'll come to me while I'm working or sleeping, whatever,
Yeah.
And it's something huge. It's been one of the most successful things for me is, being able to offer that. A lot of people in my industry won't offer it because what happens if you're in Boston, you mess something up? Well, that sucks.
Yeah.
A lot of people will not touch that at all. They're like, fuck, we're doing remote. And it can happen, right? You could be the best in the world, but you can be, one, you have to fight with the elements, right? Yep. I'm always dancing with the weather in the wintertime. You should technically be doing vinyl over like 45 degrees, right? Yep. We don't get 45 degrees every day in the winter. So some people like, yeah, I got a garage. Perfect. I'll do it when it's raining. Oh, it's 40 degrees. I can do yours today. Oh, you know what I mean? So constantly working with that. But that's been like one of the biggest things for me where it's kind of really locked me into continuous work where it's not even worth me offering other things because I do so much, like the productivity is so high and I'm constantly turning things around. You know what I mean? Like it's one of those, like I said, it's one of those things. We did the citywide glass project in 3 days. Imagine having, a guy drop off 1 truck, pick up another truck, drop off 14 times, guy.
Yeah,
like that sucks.
Lot.
Like you
That's
almost want to do whatever. I've had people say, I'll pay you whatever it is if you would come to me. Sure, I'll take it. I'm not here to freaking screw people over, but whatever. An hour of labor to drive back and forth to a 20-hour job, a 30-minute job or whatever. To me, it's worth it, and it's could convenient, and when they have garages too that work and shit like that, it's perfect. So, like I said, it's a good thing. So, I don't know, man. Like I said, I want to just continuously push in that, and the capacity, really, really goes up that way.
Yeah.
Well, we'll see. Who knows?
Hell yeah.
It's good though.
Ladies and gentlemen.
Yes.
Maybe it makes you probably after talking so much. I'm like surprised you did not take one sip of water.
No, man.
All coffee. This man's caffeinated as fuck.
That's it. We got a few hours of work to do tonight.
Oh yeah.
I made a mess all over your floor.
Yeah. Alex is going to London.
Oh, good for you, man.
I didn't mean to.
No, you're good.
All
You're
right,
good.
yeah.
Vacation?
Sort of. Yeah.
Anyone. He's not bringing me. What an asshole. All right? Piece of shit.
Yeah.
You want to be my
We
carry-on?
should have did a podcast there, man.
He's going to.
Yeah.
He's all by himself.
You should.
He's going to do. We'll figure something out. I'll do it
Yeah.
through Zoom.
Yeah, right? Yeah, man.
Guys, it's been the Too Legit Podcast. I'm Tiago. This is Alex. This has been Kyle Furtado from Choice City Graphics. We'll see you guys next time.
Love y'all. Peace.